Hey everybody, welcome to Think Twice, a channel where we discuss comic books, movies, and television, and draw some of your favorite characters. I'm your host, Kevin Hart, and today we'll be talking all about Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu. Stick around to the end of the episode to see how our drawing of The Mandalorian came out, and if you like what you see, subscribe to the channel for more content. After 3 long years, the Mando and Baby Yoda, aka Grogu, are back, the latest installment in the Star Wars franchise. And even though Disney has been pretty hit or miss, or actually really subpar with handling Star Wars franchise, I think The Mandalorian and Grogu, that show was always one of the stronger ones. I kind of missed on season 3, but the first 2 seasons were great, especially season 2. But I was not overly excited for this movie, even seeing the trailers and seeing that it was going to be a theatrical release. I don't even think that their theatrical release is justified enough. We'll talk about that. I think overall, Disney has pretty much fumbled the lore and the IP that is the iconic Star Wars franchise. But I am a sucker. I will always see Star Wars, whether it's in theaters or on television, and let's talk about it. There's always a silver lining, so let's get into the pros first. Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. This movie is written and directed by the two. They each had a hand creatively in it, and they've had a hand in the animated and with the television shows, and by far they are the strongest part of this Disney Star Wars direction. The visuals are immaculate. Everything in the movie looks clean, looks crisp, looks amazing. It's visually appealing. We even get a Dave Filoni cameo in the movie, cowboy hat and all. I really like that they respected it, almost like a Stan Lee cameo, but for Star Wars and Disney. These two creatives really understand what makes Star Wars tick. You can tell it's really beloved to them. They're fans first and then creative second. I really appreciate that the movie is, for the most part, pretty practically handled with Baby Yoda, Grogu. A lot of it is puppeteering between him and these hilarious cast, these 4 like mechanics that like just give quippy one-liners. They cracked me up every time. The humor is pretty hilarious when it is dripped and drabbed throughout. Very family-friendly film. I always appreciate when filmmakers incorporate this like old school methods into their craft. To me, it always holds up more so than just all CGI. I think the action scenes were very well choreographed. It felt very cowboy, it felt very samurai, and I think that's always been the flavor of The Mandalorian. He's very kind of like silent, almost like Batman a little bit, Space Batman, where he's just kicking ass and taking names, and he's just kind of in the shadows, and you don't want to mess with this guy. I'm curious though to see if Pedro Pascal was really in the movie in the suit, if it was the stunt man. Obviously his helmet comes off in the movie and you get that famous star appeal. I think he does another great, solid enough job here. And if not, I think that Sigourney Weaver and Pedro Pascal probably collected the easiest paycheck of their lives in this movie. Their faces are in it for a couple of minutes here and there. But again, I had a solid enough time with this film. I think the set designs, the creature designs, the droid designs, the ship designs, the world building of it is all very imaginative and it feels very lived in. And I really appreciate that they're trying to give their best to the Star Wars franchise. The soundtrack is very fun. I truly believe that Ludwig Göransson score for The Mandalorian is in the pantheon of iconic soundtracks and scores of movies and television, even with the original John Williams score from Star Wars that is so well known and beloved. It's hauntingly catchy. I was humming it and singing it the whole way home. And even though I was less than thrilled for this movie, I think one of the standouts of the movie, which to my surprise was Jeremy Allen White, who voices this CGI character, Rada the Hutt. Roided out Rada. This guy honestly stole the show for me. At first, I thought the character was going to be very corny. I thought like his voice did not match what I know is even the twins and even Jabba the Hutt. They speak in like this different language. And I'm always like kind of torn between Star Wars going full blown like alien, between the looks and the accents of taking us into space instead of just like Disneyfying it and keeping it grounded in humanity. Even with those first 2 villains, the humans, I was like, we can't even like put like fake ears on these guys or give them a little bit of an accent. So that always kind of like irks me. But honestly, this character of Rada the Hutt, he was so full of wisdom and optimism. He was all jazzed up and juiced up about his final fight to freedom. I kind of liked his story arc of redeeming the family legacy, that his family of gangsters and evildoers, he didn't want to be like them. Even physically, he was differentiating himself. He was all jacked up. I was truly invested in his character by the end of the film, and I hope to see more of him, to be honest, going forward. And it is always a treat to see Baby Yoda, Grogu, between his little baby sounds and his movements. He's hilarious. He's so entertaining to watch. This puppeteer team really does a great job with this character that has no words to say, no dialogue at all in the film, and yet he's so beloved. But this project is not without its faults. Let's get into the cons. Did this movie deserve a theatrical release? It feels like a very long movie that could have been honestly broken up into a 3-part short on Disney Plus, which we're already paying for. So why do we have to pay more going to the theaters? I don't think it does anything to separate itself from the streaming service. I don't think it does anything to further push the Star Wars franchise. All in all, I just don't think that the theatrical release makes sense to me, unless it was like a high stakes event where honestly the Mandalorian, I was expecting him to die the whole movie. I think that would have been the gravitas that the movie needed. Unfortunately, it doesn't do anything that's already familiar, that's already been done with the TV show, but I still think that overall it's a fun, entertaining movie for all ages, for families to go, maybe old Star Wars fans to go see with their kids. I think it's just solid enough, but it's nothing outstanding, nothing groundbreaking. And the pacing for me, that second act truly dragged, and that we didn't need to be in the theaters sitting here. There were some funny moments, but that second act really had me checking my watch a few times. Even the villains and some of the side characters I thought were very generic, very predictable, typical cowboy, samurai archetype characters. There's one character in the movie that's just like kind of sitting in a rocking chair. His only purpose is to like deliver some dialogue to Grogu. I think he could have been cut from the film entirely. I don't think it serves any purpose of the story. To me, it all just feels very safe and very familiar, very Disneyfied, very watered down version of what makes Star Wars tick. And even like the Mandalorian show, it could be a little bit of a drag here and there, but it's always just been the same formula of like, we got to go from A to B to C. We got to get this character, this bounty, this, and I don't know. I don't know if it's enough for me. The villains are pretty cool. I did like the twins. They were introduced in the show a little bit here and there, but copy and paste versions of Jabba the Hutt. The bounty hunter was pretty cool. I liked him and his dog. That was very intense moments here and there. The visuals of that guy was really cool. He looked like a character from Mortal Kombat. Even my wife said that. So that made for a great fight between the Mandalorian and Grogu, between this bounty hunter and his dog. I wish that Grogu used the Force a little bit more. I want to see him up his ante a little bit going forward. There were a lot of great action scenes, but for me, I think the thing that stood out to me was that fight in the water with the Mandalorian, with Pedro Pascal with his helmet off at the mercy of the Hutts, and he's fighting this like albino water dragon. He's in the water, which alone makes him more vulnerable because he's got this heavy Beskar steel on, and the thing was ginormous. This thing was huge. It was like all tangled up. It was a huge threat. He's without his weapons, and it kind of like was an intense scene of how is this guy going to get out of this. We stuck around for a possible post-credit scene. There is none. So I'm curious of where Star Wars goes from here. I think that they should just stay with the whole Disney Plus television streaming series because the movies to me kind of feel like a little bit of a cash grab. But I'm a sucker. I bought in. I went to the movies. Of course, it's Star Wars. I'm going to get that Burger King merchandise. I'm going to get the meal. I'm going to get the popcorn bucket. It's Star Wars, man. They already know they got their money out of me. I'm giving this thing a 7 out of 10. I wanted to give it a 7.5 out of 10, but honestly, that second act really dragged for me. I don't think it goes into anything that's groundbreaking territory with Star Wars or even the characters that we know and beloved. I think the visuals are excellent. The action scenes were awesome. It was a great little adventure, but it's kind of too familiar and it does nothing for me. Not nothing for me, but not enough for me to lose my mind over this. What did you guys think about Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu? Let us know in the comments below. Anyways, that about wraps up today's episode of Think Twice. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment below to join the discussion, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content. We'll see you next time. Peace! Had to get it done. We went out to Burger King, got the bounty, Mandalorian and Grogu combo meal. Have it your way. Let's give this thing a taste test. We got the Mandalorian and Grogu Imperial Cheddar Ranch tater tots. We got the chicken fries with some garlic sauce. Nice and creamy garlic sauce. And I went with the Whopper Jr. and I pretty much got the same exact thing as the burger. A Swiss cheese, some pickles on there, some barbecue sauce. Let's give it the old taste test. Charbroiled. 0 napkins. So we're going to go with the bag as the napkin. The garlic chicken fry, dipped in that creamy garlic dipping sauce. Very good. We got that Imperial Ranch cheddar cheese tater tot. Looks pretty wild. Let's give it the old shot. As a crispy, which is a little cheesier, little cheesier. Not getting a lot of hits of ranch. And then we got the Mandalorian and Grogu blue cookie milkshake with an adorable Precioso Grogu on there. Look at him using the Force. May the Force be with you. Ooh, that's really good. That's really good. 9 calories, I'm sure, but worth it. That's really good. With a little bit of cookie crumble on top, I believe. You know I'm a sucker. I'm always a sucker for movies and food. When they combine the two with the marketing, they already have my money. A very good little combination from Burger King.